Just like Alison Dubois said in that infamous dinner party scene, those Birkins will never emotionally fulfill you.
Preach.
It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margee McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margee McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hello, Margee. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I am happy to be here.
Same.
I am a little bit of a snot factory right now, so I may have to mute myself to either blow my nose or cough. You know.
That time of year, man.
That time of year.
And I'm a disaster at the end of a long day. I'm a shiny, greasy. Listen, it's fine. It is what it is. It's been a long day, and I'm just so glad to end it with this, you know?
I want to say that it's inaccurate.
It's not.
You look like you're glowing, right, and your fucking hair looks windblown and sexy.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So honestly, I need you to see. I will be your mirror. Don't look in your distorted mirror.
I hear that, but by the end of this podcast, my hair will be stuck to my face, and the bags will have emerged from under my eyes, and that is fine because I wouldn't trade a wink of sleep to not talk about pleated bucket hats.
Oh my God.
And, a trip to Mission Beach?
Mission
Bay?
Oceanside.
Oceanside. Wow. See, tired. Whoops.
Oceanside got yassified AF. Oceanside. Now listen, I have lived in San Diego 2 separate times. Once when I was in high school, and then another time when Josh and I got engaged. I moved back for a while. My best friends live there. I love to visit. It's idyllic. Oceanside, I visited Oceanside probably a couple times in high school. I don't know why we went, maybe to go to a bonfire on the beach. It's in North County of San Diego, so it's not like San Diego proper. And
like La Jolla, is it in that?
It's way north of La Jolla.
Oh,
it's
damn.
Like when I would drive down from LA, I would know I was almost done when I would hit Oceanside.
Okay.
Oceanside's probably the northernmost part of San Diego County.
Okay.
And I mean this with no disrespect. It was quasi-seedy. You weren't going on vacation to go to Oceanside. And I understand in the last, few years, it's undergoing a renaissance of sorts. I mean, that luxury hotel that they were in, I was like, Oceanside? Yeah. Okay, Oceanside, I didn't know you. My main relationship with Oceanside is when I would drive back to LA, I would pull off on one exit to go to a really excellent taco shop. There's a chain in San Diego with taco shops called Roberto's, and a really good Roberto's was off a freeway exit right off the 5. So it was easy to go. And so I would pop in, get a bean burrito, and head back to LA. But yeah, now it's what? And that hotel, I Googled it because I was like, oh, it's got to be a Hilton. It's a Hyatt.
Whoa.
Kathy Hilton organized. And so I was like,
brand.
Does Hilton own Hyatt? No, they don't.
Really?
So Kathy Hilton organized or the producers. I'm not sure that Kathy Hilton would be capable of organizing a girls' trip.
I don't think she knows. Maybe Carol could, her assistant.
Oh, my God. Her brand manager. And then her chief of staff, Mohammed.
And chief
of staff.
So much happening at that household for a lady who just eats. Didn't she invite Kyle over for yogurt and granola or something? It was just the most tragic meal that they shared on TV trays. And
maybe that's why Carol had to walk into Kyle's house and be like, Kyle, can I raid your fridge? I'm starving.
And Kyle was so shitty about it. She's
sure. I noticed that too, Margee. I was like, am I
whatever she takes
overreactive
just order
here?
No, just you can get it replaced in literally 20 minutes.
She was like, sure. I would have been like, oh my God, help yourself. What can I make you?
Maybe her Wegovy was in the fridge door and she didn't want anyone to see it. You know what I mean? People
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Think
but
so?
She was, I don't know. She was weirdly shitty. And I was like, why
weird.
would you be shitty? What is in your fridge? And if there's something in there you don't want to share, just say help yourself to anything but my blah, blah, blah that I'm looking forward to eating. It was really weird.
It was so weird. It
For
was
a lady who has so
weird.
much, she got real weird about it.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who noticed that because I was like, I watched it twice and I was like, she sounds so ungracious.
And she literally spent the whole episode prior saying, like, it's an empty nest. I live in this empty house. It's like, you should be thrilled to have someone rummaging through your kitchen.
Right?
But I guess not Carol in her Barbie pink shift dress.
Poor
and
Carol.
High heels and managing
What a
Kathy.
weird afternoon to spend driving around LA and back
What a weird
in a
job.
vintage convertible Bentley with like suitcases
That
out the yin yang. It was
Yeah.
so wild, man. So
was a
wild.
lot.
This is The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 14, episode 3, entitled Life's a Beach.
Oh,
I know.
okay,
It's just
okay.
like, come on, man.
That's fine.
It is, but
It's fine.
it's fine. It's fine. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? But yeah, who cares? Life's
It's
a
always
beach.
fun when they are like satisfying and cute and they make me giggle a little. But this is just like okay, moving on.
It's low-hanging fruit.
And honestly, this episode was a little bit like, it was spotty. There
It
were some like
was.
really good parts, and then there was a lot of duck, duck, goose that I was like, don't need
Yeah.
this for one more minute.
Agreed. But I was actually a little relieved because the last two were so, like the first 2 episodes of the season have been so emotionally fraught that
Yeah.
I was glad for a little bit of levity, as lame as it was, like Kathy Hilton organizing a duck, duck, goose game and
Yeah.
just getting the biggest kick out of it.
Well, and Dorit falling down not once, but twice. And also, I did notice like Dorit, you know, she's been accused in past seasons by me as well as of being wordy and long-winded. But I got to tell you, when she knows what she wants to say, she's really clear. Like at that dinner at the end, she's just like, Kyle tries to pull, you're talking too much. You have, 2 ears and one mouth for a reason. But it's like, no, that doesn't work here, because she was actually being like really clear, really concise, really efficient with her language. And you're just being an idiot and a bitch.
Yeah, dude.
My take.
I mean, oh yeah, we'll get there. That dinner, Kyle is just, she's a child. She turns into a child.
She is. And they
She
did a
turns
whole
into a
montage
child.
of her being a brat,
It was,
of her being like, stop talking about Erica. I don't care.
yeah,
It's like,
that
oh my
was
God.
wild. That is Arrested Development, and that is unprocessed childhood issues.
Yeah, this
I
is
mean, listen, I spotted, I got it. Like, I'm not saying, like, I know what that is because I've done it, and if I'm having a real low point, I still can. But like, I know where it comes from.
well, and again, it's like we watch these shows as a cautionary tale. It is a reminder to me to go to an ACA meeting, an Adult Children of Alcoholics meeting,
Oh my
because if I
God.
don't,
Yeah.
then I'm going to be whining at people and snapping at my friends and creating cases as to why they wronged me. And it's all
Oh.
these pieces of a puzzle. That's why I'm right. It's like, oh God, just
Yeah.
you've lost the bigger picture of what a friendship is. And
Yeah.
now you're just playing a weird, I don't know, a scorekeeping game.
Ew, I know. It's so, it is sad. It is sad.
And as her life just gets lonelier and lonelier, anyways, we'll get through
Yeah.
all of it. But good Lord.
I agree. I agree. So we open the episode with some joy. Let's just say that. Like, Garcelle and Jade are in a photography studio to take shots for his lookbook because he's starting to model. He was just signed by LA Models. He's so pretty. And Garcelle is such a proud mama. And I am just thrilled for both of them. And it's really nice. Erica is talking to her duck friend in her pool, and then she has a Porsche delivered with a bow on it. And again, I am stunned at the cognitive dissonance. Widows and orphans, let's have a Taycan delivered. A Taycan, a Taycan?
I don't know, but it was beautiful. And I'm not a car person, but it pulled up and I was like, take the bow off. It is so gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
In the nude. Whatever that
Gorgeous.
car is was really pretty to look at.
Gorgeous, yeah. I don't know. I don't understand Erica Jane still.
Yeah,
she is an enigma. She is an enigma to me.
She is just without a conscience. I mean,
Wrapped
it
in
just
bullshit,
goes,
but yes.
it goes back to that therapy session where she was like
Oh my
asking
God.
for a definition of empathy. Like, For
Oh
them.
my God.
For them.
For them. Yeah,
She still has not internalized that. She clearly cannot.
totally.
Then we get this weird scene with Kyle and Portia, who's adorable, by the way. She's so 16 and cute.
That was Portia? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
all grown up.
She's so
adorable.
grown up. I thought that was maybe Fifi. But
Oh, shit.
it was I don't know. I couldn't tell which one it was.
I guess I maybe assumed it was Portia because she's the only one still like totally living at the house.
I mean,
But
Sophia clocks in and clocks out every once in a while, but like, yeah.
well, if it was Sophia, then I have less problems with the scene because if it's Portia, who is 16, Kyle was asking her basically like trying to gossip about her ex-husband and asking Portia or whichever daughter it was, like, who's your father traveling with? There's no way he's going alone. Like that's what you do when you're newly broken up. You do that with your friends who have mutual friends or, you know what I mean? Not with your 16-year-old daughter. It was just boundaryless and weird and really inappropriate to put Portia, because Portia's going through this separation too.
Uh-huh.
It's not like she's all cool and everything's fine. Her dad
Yeah.
moved out and she's confused and like, don't make her sniff around for information about women or friends or towels or any of it. Stop.
I even thought that regardless if it was the older daughter or Portia, I still thought it was inappropriate. Like, and it was so thinly veiled. The way, like, she thought she was like being clever, the way she was trying to fish for the details, but it was just like, no, this
She was
is wrong.
trying-
Like, don't do this.
She tried on this whole like cutesy, flirty personality this episode, with, or at least in the first half of this episode, with regard to Mauricio. And Mauricio's visit was just like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I couldn't wait for that to be over.
Yeah.
But she started that energy here where she's like, I don't care. It's not like I care what he's doing. What is he doing? And I was like, what were you doing a year ago? You were prancing around town with Morgan and you could not stand him. Remember when she went in to talk to him and she's like, will you get off your business call? Like, there was so...
And he went to kiss her and she was like,
yeah.
yeah.
So, like, you don't get to just... It's okay if your feelings have changed and you have remorse for how you behaved last year, but, like, this whole just pretending Morgan wasn't a complete centerpiece to the last 12 months of your life, and now transitioning to like, oh, what's your dad up to? Hi, I think there's weed in that. Just kidding. I cried in your closet. It was like, what is happening? Oh my God.
Oh my
She's
God.
trying every tactic to like,
Yeah.
oh, it's so weird.
Yeah, I
Anyways.
agree. It's so uncomfortable.
Very.
Reality TV is fucking real. Who, like, I have been Kyle and asked like, oh, so, thinking I'm slick. Oh, so did you run into so-and-so at that show? Oh, and how were they? Oh, okay. When you're just like, the energy underneath is like, tell me everything. Oh my God, please tell me everything, please.
I think
And
I
it's
told you I
just-
had that experience during the pandemic. I ran into someone who like is a distant acquaintance of mine. We're super friendly, but like we don't know each other, but I know that that person knows an ex of mine. And I was like, well, how's he doing? You know, pretending like I cared how he was getting through the pandemic. And the answer was he got a 25-year-old pregnant. And I was like, okay, this is the reason you don't ask these questions. Because you know, when someone answers honestly, you feel like a fucking fool. Because Kyle doesn't really want to know the answer. She wants to hear, oh, he just sits in the bed and looks at photos of you and wonders what happened to the, you know what I mean? Which is just not what he's doing. He's making out with some like Russian supermodel or something. Doesn't he have like a girlfriend?
I know he met someone I remember, God, was it over the summer already? Maybe at the end of the summer, there were the paparazzi shots of him at the airport greeting someone, or she was greeting him. But yeah, I think they were in Greece. I don't know if she was Greek or if they were just meeting there, but yeah. And she was considerably younger. And
She's
she was wearing like
beautiful.
a beach cover, like a mesh cover up, like a crocheted cover up, and
Get it, girl.
you could see butt cheeks and all that stuff. And it's like, oh God,
But again, Kyle did it first.
she
Morgan
did do it.
is
You're not
27.
lying. You're not lying.
And they both got in like wet bathing suits for her video. Like, give me a break, Kyle.
Oh my God.
Cry me a river.
Kyle's little foray into light bondage. Wasn't she wearing like a lot of straps? She was wearing like a lot of harnessy stuff. And I was like, girl, don't front.
I only saw the clip of the video. I never brought myself to watch the whole thing. I just saw like the little clip or image they showed of it on the series. So
Yeah.
I don't remember it, but
Oh,
yeah.
that's just hilarious. Anywho, we pivot to Kathy's house, and Kathy and her brand manager, Carol, are loading a vintage convertible Bentley with suitcases for their San Diego trip. And Kathy says delivering them will save me money on shipping. You know, everyone's like, how do the rich stay rich? You don't pay your warehouse workers, and you drive your
That
Bentley
ain't it.
around, and it's just, like,
you don't
come on.
rent a vintage car and then be like, but this is okay. Because, like, it's just
She's so odd to me. She's such an odd bird.
she's literally like a cartoon eccentric billionaire. She
Totally.
even her house looks like a cartoon to me. That
Yeah.
big rotunda thing. Like I'm like, what? Who designed this? What is this? Everything's crazy. She travels with chips and bananas.
And all those chintzy pillows.
And they're like Laura Ashley pillows from like
exactly.
1984.
Oh my God, Laura Ashley, deep
Yeah.
cut. Yeah, yeah.
And then she says prayers while she's driving, like sort of with her eyes closed, which made me really nervous. I was like,
Dude.
don't
So crazy.
don't half close your eyes when like you're clearly not used to drive. Like
God.
the whole thing was really bizarre.
It was so gnarly. And she stops at Boz's house first to drop off Boz's suitcase.
Boz.
And Boz, oh my God. Ramona.
My God, Mona, I haven't heard you call
No, I
yourself
said
that.
Ramona. Josh used to have a coworker named Boz. And so when I see it, like the way it's written, that's why I said Boz. But yes, it's Boz. Dude, I apologize. And she's all, these are Beverly Hills types things going on here. And that made me laugh really hard. I liked it. That was funny.
Yeah. And then Bo's like, and her adorable assistant, I love their relationship. They're very cute together. They start unpacking the suitcase, and it is the weirdest, again, just an eccentric billionaire put this together. It's Red Bull, a monogrammed towel, a pleated bucket hat, and self-tanner. It's just like, what is the thought behind this?
I know.
Self-tanner, okay, anyways. It's winter. They were all covered up. They were all in like full long sleeves because it's freezing. Like the whole thing was strange.
It was, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she regifted like swag that she's gotten at another hospitality suite. You know what I mean?
You might be right.
Anyway, we go back to the photo studio, and Garcelle is really happy that Jade is doing this because it helps him get out of his shell. He's the more introverted of the twins, and I just think she's a fucking great, dedicated mom. Period.
And I loved her outfit. She was in like denim on denim and looked amazing.
I am obsessed with denim on denim. I wear it all the time.
I thought that would have been a really cute Ramona outfit.
Oh, thank you.
The sort of like wide leg jean
I'm
with
flattered.
a tucked in button down chambray shirt. She looked
The other
great.
day, I wore a Levi jacket as a shirt.
See?
I have a slim fit Levi jacket. I buttoned it all the way up and put on some jeans, and I was like, yeah.
Love it.
Feeling myself. Anyway, Kathy and Carol deliver Garcelle's suitcase to the studio, and Kathy says Garcelle looks like the big sister of Jade. Garcelle says she could have sent an Evite. She could have sent a messenger.
I did think this was really sweet because Garcelle was so proud of him. She goes, he looks like he was made to do this. Like she's just beaming as a mom. It's very sweet. And he does look great.
He looked great.
And the clothes he was wearing were great. And he was wearing them. They're hard clothes to wear because it was just like a giant baggy
editorial
thing.
clothes are really hard.
He looked great.
Not everyone looks good in an editorial look.
No,
and
I
he
would look just like a blob, but he
He's
was able to like find angles, and he's got great cheekbones. He looked
beautiful,
phenomenal.
pretty face.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then they go to Dorit's house, and Dorit is flattered because she thinks that Kathy chose that particular hat for her because she thinks it's Chanel inspired, especially for Dorit. And I was like, I don't think it's that deep, but WTF do I know?
This was a weird scene because little Phoenix was there, Dorit's daughter, and it was like nobody made a big effort to make her comfortable. And I was like, you guys, she's like 8 and her dad moved out, and I don't know. I guess I just felt bad for her. I was like, Could Kathy bring her something? Could Carol go rummage through the car and find something for the kid? Like, she's just standing there while her mom receives this like giant suitcase of crap. Anyways,
I don't
I
know if
did.
Kathy can relate to children.
It does not appear like she
It does
can.
not.
She literally looked like like the subtext was ew.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
she did not have like any warmth. They did have a weird love you parting, you know, which I thought was interesting given how everything with both of them has gone down with Kyle over the
Yeah.
years. It was very,
It's
quite familiar for these
yeah.
two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. I wonder, and I'm not saying this to be an asshole either. I swear, the thought just came up. I wonder if this is like a Dorit way to kind of like stick it to Kyle.
I think so.
You know?
I think she was thrilled. I don't know who initiated Love You, but either way, I think she was thrilled that Kathy said it, you know?
Yeah. Man.
Because she can twist that knife a little bit in Kyle's side.
Oi, oi, oi.
Speaking of Kyle.
Yes, please.
Now
yes.
Carol comes to Kyle's house and raids her fridge, and Kyle's is not about it. And Kyle is real. She's just so. But my read on her is like bitter. She's getting like bitchy and bitter, you know, because Kathy comes in. She's like, you look like a whole lamp. And she does. But like, I guess it's sort of the contrast between the way she talks about and treats Mauricio versus how she talks about and treats her sister bothered me a lot. Because she's like, Kathy's crazy. She's so extra. I'm like, it's beautiful. Everything she did was beautiful. And yes, she is extra and she is crazy. But like, and then Mauricio comes over and she's like, tee hee hee, you like the color I chose? I organized. It was like, ugh.
I noticed the same thing, that she told her sister that the hat looked like a lampshade. And I said, I would feel hurt if someone said that to me. I think I would feel hurt if my sister said that to me. And I think Kyle would have been hurt if Kathy had said that to her and the hat was on the other head, so to speak. And Kyle, for you to talk so much shit about somebody else's headwear when you are a walking kimosabi, I can't even believe those words came out of my mouth. I hate it so much. She just has balls. That's all I'm going to say. She has fucking balls.
She like lights her bespoke headwear on fire. Like, isn't that part of the kimosabe thing? Is they like light part of it on fire or something? I don't know.
Yes.
So please just like
I know.
kindly spare us all of this. And it's not even that she just said, you look like a whole lamp. Because honestly, she said that and I giggled. And then she just kept going in.
Yeah.
And she's like, your head is a bad shape for you're not a blah, blah. I was like, geez.
I know.
Let it go.
I think that
Rude.
Had Kathy been saying it, I think Kyle would have taken it really badly. And Kathy seemed to like not give a shit because I think she's just in her own Kathy Hilton world.
I think so too.
But I noticed the same thing. I'm glad you said it because I was like, am I reading too much into this? But she was being critical.
Yeah, and
it wasn't really joyous critical. Like, it wasn't like teasing.
It wasn't ribbing. Yeah,
yes.
It was like, it was with the intention of making her look or feel bad.
Yeah.
Preferably both, I'm sure.
Kyle's got a lot going on right now.
Yeah, she needs attention, you know,
Yeah.
and she's making some weird choices as to how to get it.
Mm-hmm.
But in Kyle's defense, Kathy does not listen to her at all. So Kyle says, Kathy sees some tchotchke on Kyle's table and is like, oh, I love this. I love this print. And Kyle tries to launch into, you know, I'm redecorating now that Mauricio's moved out. And Kathy is not listening to her at all. And she just goes, oh, looking at the tchotchke, she goes, I need this. This is perfect for me. And meanwhile, Kyle's trying to say that, like, my marriage is over, so I'm redecorating the house. And Kathy's fully fixated on some, like, I don't know, jewelry tray. I don't even know what that was.
A little trinket tray. A little trinket tray.
Lovely, but like...
I mean, enough so to pull out her reading glasses.
I know.
Like, she was like really determined to find out what it was so that she could send Mohammed, her chief of staff, who might even delegate that job to someone, his deputy chief of staff. Like, why don't you go down to Beverly Boulevard and go pick this up for Miss Hilton?
My God.
Mrs. Hilton, yeah. Yep. And then Kyle says to Kathy, see, I wrote the quote down, but I didn't write down what it was in reference to. I was the one who was feeling hurt, and now she's turning it around that I've done all these things. She doesn't have anything solid. Some people want to see the worst in you.
Yeah, Kyle's just worrying that it might be weird with Dorit on the trip. And
Yes.
I wrote down that whole quote too, because I was like, this is literally the reverse of everything you said is true. Like, Dorit was the one who was hurt. What do you mean she doesn't have any real proof? The whole argument is about you going on Amazon Live, broadcasting to your fandom that your friendship was a fraud. Not to mention, we later get a montage of all these like other shows she's gone on. Like, there's what do you mean she doesn't have anything? Like, there's just endless stuff. Not to mention icing Dorit out for months at a time. No contact, no communication, nothing to say like, I love you, but I need space, or I'm really mad at you. I don't know if we can resolve this. Nothing. Just fucking the worst kind of ghosting. It's so evil. So anyways, I don't know. None of what she said made any sense. And I don't know if she's just like, I don't know, spending too much time alone and doesn't have anyone to download these thoughts with anymore. So she's starting to believe things that aren't true, or I don't know what that comment was, but every piece of that comment was wrong. It was backwards. All of it was backwards.
It was. I completely agree. And then Kathy Hilton speculates, like 3 years ago, this wouldn't have hurt Kyle, and then she put some sort of toxic positivity spin on the whole thing of like how they can resolve it. And I didn't write specifically down what that was because.
Well, I did appreciate that Kathy is, as is everyone, on Dorit's side with the BravoCon incidents, because they're not incidents. Like, Kyle lists them out for us later, and it's like, huh? Who cares? Dumb. But I did bristle slightly when Kathy said, Kyle normally would have reacted to this, but she's hypersensitive, so it rubbed her the wrong way. And I was like, dude, you don't have to take it there. Just say you don't understand this one instance instead of just labeling her as hypersensitive, hysterical, overreactive. I was just like, yucky.
I would have, if my family was calling me hypersensitive, if I was not in a good place, even if I was in a good place, I bet I would probably be like, oh, that's it.
It's just the way she said it. It was just so
full
dismissive.
Of judgment. Yes.
Yeah. Well, and just like she, this isn't a big deal, but she's hypersensitive. She has a problem, as opposed to like, I'm hypersensitive, but it's just like a character trait of mine.
Right.
But when people address me, like, I'm aware of it and I work on it and all the things. So when people come at me flippantly like that, I'm just like, you know what?
Yeah.
Boo, that's rude and lazy and mean.
So lazy and
straight out mean.
So dismissive. And yeah, agreed. Hey, and then Mauricio comes over.
Oh, God, this is so weird.
It was just so uncomfortable. It was
just
wildly
like flirty,
uncomfortable.
Erratic energy of like, which door did you come in? I wanted you to come in the other one to see what I organized. Like, and then giggling about she painted the bathroom, which, by the way, I thought looked beautiful. Did you like that?
Yeah, I thought it was fine.
I thought it looked so pretty. It was this like light gray color with all this natural light. My God, the natural light in that house is really lovely.
Agreed.
But Mauricio's like, it's beautiful. And she's like, well, I didn't paint it pink or anything. Like, I don't know if that was an invitation to like have a man come back, or like, I don't know what she was doing. It was just, it felt crazy. Agreed.
She's not excited that he's happy-go-lucky right now. I think she feels extremely threatened by his life.
I think she feels abandoned, which is
I do too.
Comedy. Because that is someone who has no sense of self and no accountability and no participation on her side of the street.
Mm-hmm.
Just watch last season, Kyle. He was in pain last season and confused. So he clearly came to terms with being rejected by his wife. And now she's like, and now he's all happy? Everything's all happy-go-lucky? It's like, what do you want him to do?
Yeah.
The marriage is over, dude. You said so.
I think it is.
But Kyle's the one who made it so.
I know. And
I just don't get it.
Here's the thing, like, especially on Reddit, there's just so much, like, there's a camp that firmly believes that there was infidelity over the years on Mo's part.
I mean, a 30-year marriage, it would be easy to believe that happened.
Right.
And easy to understand why they would choose to work through it with 7,000 children and a great life,
Right. So where was I going with that? I was going somewhere with it, but I can't remember where. I apologize.
Mauricio's happy. Kyle's pissed off that he's happy.
Yeah.
Reddit is saying that there's thoughts that infidelity has been happening
Yeah.
throughout.
So like Kyle, wake up. Like he was already out. He was already out.
Yeah.
And he's been out or in or out or in. And so, but yeah, it is stark because the way she's behaving this season in regards to him, I have to remind myself that she was a giddy schoolgirl last season.
Flaunting it on camera all over the place.
Yeah, like I forgot that's how hung up on Mauricio she seems, or she's just unmoored.
On Morgan,
Yeah.
you mean? Or
No,
no?
she's unmoored.
Unmoored,
like,
right.
she's
You said hung up on Mauricio?
Yeah, I think she's hung up on Mauricio this season.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah, and it's weird. I think here's how I speculate. Yeah, I mean, just full disclosure. It's like, I had this one on-again, off-again relationship where I thought we were long game and clearly we weren't, and it all worked out for the best, obviously. You know who I'm talking about, probably. We would break up. I would date someone. It would end, and I would realize what I had with the first person, and then have that Kyle energy of like, oh, like, okay, well, I want you back, or like that's basically what it feels like she's saying with her body language, and her subtext just seems to be like that. And it's like, I was humbled. I was humbled because, I left. I would leave and be like, I'm leaving. You're not right for me. This person is. And then like, oh no, that person is not either. But like, okay, so that other person looks better. So I'm going to try to go back. And so I just I recognize it. It's uncomfortable. It's when you're dating someone and then you break up. And so I feel like she and Morgan are not together anymore. I don't get that sense at all. Not that we knew for sure if they ever were 100%. I don't know. Like, I don't want to speculate. But it's like, it's palpable that Kyle's in that energy of like, uh-oh, I want him back, but I can't say it.
Even just like, uh-oh, I'm alone.
And he doesn't want to come back to me. And like, that's just when you're not on that even playing field, it's so humbling. And not in the good part of humbling. It's like that, oh shit, you don't have any power. You have no upper hand.
Well, and I think Kyle really is exposed as codependent. And I believe you're probably right that Morgan is not in her life anymore. So she's desperate to have someone in her life to manage and mother and all the things that she does. And it doesn't seem like Mauricio is going to sign up for that gig. And she seems desperate. And she even says in a confessional that she's like kind of lost if she doesn't have someone to be a wife or mother to, that she's sort of like without an identity,
Yeah.
So I bet you're right. I bet, yeah, it's weird. And she gets all weird and cutesy and sing-song. And she goes, also, I may or may not have put some things in your closet because I needed some space. And like, it was there. And like, it was so weird. And then she goes right into, and then Marta came in and saw what I was doing and she started crying. And Mauricio goes, aw. And then Kyle goes, and then I started crying. And he has the same tone and just goes, aw. And I'm like, you are trying everything. Like you're trying flirting, you're trying guilt tripping, you're hurting Marta, whoever Marta is, some house assistant or something, I imagine, who must have been around long enough for this to have an impact. But it just felt manipulative. It did not feel pure. It did not feel like a conversation without an agenda.
Yeah.
And I'm not totally clear what the agenda was, but it did feel like I painted the bathroom gray, not pink. So you're still welcome back here.
I think the agenda is I want you back.
So, yeah.
I don't want this to be over. I don't want this to be over.
But then she's asked in that confessional by the producer directly, is there any part of you that hopes you and Mauricio get back together? And she just said, I don't want to answer that.
She doesn't want to answer it because she doesn't want to go on the record
As saying yes?
And then he doesn't want that.
How's that? It would make her so sympathetic
because
if she would just say, like, I really do want that. And then
is an untreated Al-Anon who must control every aspect of her life. Her survival depends on it. her
And her
survival
image.
and that's what I'm
Like she has
saying.
to control her image.
That's what I'm saying.
I
Yeah.
see.
And just the full hipness of it all for all of the memes and all of the clips and all of the like mashups over the years of her being, just be honest, just be open and honest, just be honest. Like we all know it. We all have heard her say it ad nauseum. And then, I don't want to answer this right now. Well, guess what, Kyle? Guess what? You're already answering it, even if you're not answering it.
That's the thing. I felt like maybe it's just how it was edited, that on the heels of that scene, it's like the answer is clear. Like
Yeah.
you just auditioned for your husband to come back into your life.
Dude.
But then
mean,
sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just that, she's saying all the stuff about like, he's like, you haven't been to my condo yet. And she's like, you have no responsibilities there. And he signed a 6-month lease. And Kyle in her confessional says that thinks they might reconvene in 6 months. And I was all, oh no, Kyle, no, it's not happening. He's not coming back.
She didn't even seem convinced of that when she was saying it. It's just because all of the other stuff leading up to that, like, I don't know. It was sad. It was sad.
It made me a little itchy to watch it because she was so clearly in denial, or not in denial, but like just say it. Just say where you're at, man. Just say where you're at, because you're saying it anyway.
Yeah. But she was just trying to resume her role from 2 years ago as if the last year hadn't happened.
Yeah.
Because she starts in right away with like weird, naggy, micromanagey bullshit of like, Portia said you have 8 towels. And he's like, that's plenty. I only use one. And she's like, oh, well, I don't know what size they are. And it's like, oh my God, it's fucking absolutely none of your business. What is this weird conversation? And then she's like, well, I'll buy you sheets because you clearly only, and he's like, I bought sheets. I bought the best ones. Like,
I know. I was all, were they frette? Mm-hmm.
It just, it's like so, it was just so weird to see her, like you said, completely unmoored now that she's not a full-time caretaker and martyr.
Yep.
Without those two things guiding her identity, she's like, doesn't even know how to have a conversation, including what she tried to play off as a joke when Mauricio's leaving. And she's like, is this an energy drink? I think it has weed in it. It's like, that's naggy and weird too. It's not even funny.
Oh
it's just like you're weirdly kind of punishing him and being like, you need a mommy. And
yeah,
he looked annoyed.
He did.
And I was annoyed. I was like, get me out of here.
He looked awkward. He looked awkward and very, like, it wasn't like 100% uncomfortable, but he was like, I just got the sense that he was, like, he wanted to get out of there. Like, I didn't know why he was there. And there was the simmer underneath, like, he's checked out.
As
he wasn't fully
be.
present. I have to say I agree. I have to say I agree.
And it was also weird. Mauricio asked Kyle if she's talked to Dorit and PK at all. And Kyle says, PK and I are always sending funny memes and jokes and checking in. And I was like, with your ex-husband's best friend and your ex-best friend's ex-husband, that's who you're choosing to check in with all the time? That's weird.
It's really toxic.
If I was Mauricio, I'd want to get the hell out of there too, because I'd be like, what are you? Who are your friends? What is your point? Like, this is weird. PK?
I think he doesn't want to know. I think he just doesn't care enough anymore about what she's doing to even like investigate.
There's just no knowing with her. It's just
maybe.
whichever way the wind blows. Yeah, that was a really weird scene, and I'm sure it wasn't that long, but it felt like it went on for fucking ever.
It was.
When he finally stood up and he said, well, glad I got to see you. I was like, God, please get out of there. Please don't turn back. Nobody hug. Just go.
Go.
Weird.
Oof. I mean, he bought furniture. She thought he was going to stage it, and he bought furniture, and she's just like, that's so permanent. Gnarly.
And also, none of your business.
I know.
You wanted this. Like, and also, they are just absolutely made of money. Like, what it would cost to stage and try to keep clean furniture.
I agree.
Like, just buy the furniture and resell it if you're that.
I know.
Like the stress of a staged apartment for 6 months, if you couldn't sit down and like spill a beer or anything without being stressed. I don't know. Or maybe whatever. It just didn't seem like that big of a
I agree.
discrepancy.
I agree.
It's like he He rented a condo and he bought some furniture. It's a condo. It's not like I don't know. Anyways, you get
I
it.
agree. I
Onward.
agree.
Weird scene.
And thank God we had a little bit of a palate cleanser with J-Till packs, poker chips, sage, and holy water. And it just made me laugh. It just made me laugh. Her voice is her voice. She's eccentric and she's unapologetically herself. And it cracked me up that that's what poker chips, sage, and holy water.
Ready for Oceanside.
Oh, girl.
Yeah, and then we have this little FaceTime interlude with Dorit and Erica. And basically, it boils down to Erica saying she spoke to Kyle and told Kyle that Erica didn't think BravoCon, it didn't strike her as, oh, I'm so sorry I forgot to put her away.
Please, I'm glad she's out. I'm really glad she's out. She deserves to be out living
in
free.
Her bed, and now she's making fucking
It's fine.
noise. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Evelyn deserves to be seen and heard.
She doesn't really have anything to say. That's it. That's the noise. Evelyn, why? You were fucking sound asleep, dude. Oh, okay. So Erica was reporting that she spoke to Kyle and told her that she didn't think the BravoCon incidents were anything malicious on Dorit's part, and that maybe Dorit hurt Kyle's feelings, but if she did so, it was not on purpose. And Dorit counters by saying that everything that Kyle has done to her has been intentional, and she's been icing her out over and over again. And she goes, it's a pattern. And then she lists these things, and I was like, oh my God, it is a pattern. That after the fashion show in New York City, when Dorit said Kyle didn't know what she was doing, because she didn't, we all saw those episodes. She'd never seen the clothing or met the woman who designed them until she arrived at the show day.
Mm-hmm.
And then they show a clip of the reunion that year where Kyle said to Dorit, you know how easily I could have done that to you? Said, you don't know what you're doing about your businesses, but I didn't. And I'm like, you just did.
You just did.
You did it.
Did. You're passive aggressive and you just did.
And it's so mean.
It's so mean.
So mean.
It was ruthless. Agreed.
And then we get a look at a scene in Aspen that I didn't remember. I guess Dorit sided with Erica about something that pissed off Kyle, and Kyle's whining / shrieking, shut up, I don't fucking care. Like, that was a lot. And then after the reunion where Dorit briefly spoke in defense of Kathy, Kyle didn't speak to her for 6 months. And in the moment in the reunion, I was on Kyle's side. I was like, butt the fuck out, Dorit.
Yeah.
But to not talk to her for 6 months is extreme.
It's a lack of so many things. It is, what am I trying to say? What is it? It's her way of maintaining control.
Yeah, Kyle?
It's Kyle's way of maintaining control over the situation.
Yeah, man.
She's going to decide what to say and when to say it. I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
Especially because it's not like Kyle and Kathy's relationship has been absolutely smooth sailing and then Dorit said something and ruined it. It's like those two have a cycle that you could write a calendar for of like how they... All three of them, they weave in and out of each other's lives, as most families do, as most siblings do. It's not abnormal, but to hold Dorit to account for that for 6 months was just like, it's pretty intense. Kyle's pretty intense.
She is not a safe person. She's not trustworthy. She will not protect your heart. I can feel it. She's too controlled, too defended, and too unwilling to be vulnerable. And she lashes out. But she does it in a way where she can play the victim.
But it's ultimately self-centered. It's all self-preservation.
100.
It's like, I want to look like the winner. I want to look like the victim. I want to look like the hero. I want to look like the good guy. And whoever has to be on the receiving end of wrath in order for that to be so be it. You're right. She doesn't... There's no consideration of anyone else's feelings or circumstances.
Yep.
It's just like, you made me look bad at BravoCon for 5 seconds. And so now I'm going to decide to villainize you for a season.
I bet she was projecting something onto that. She was already, I bet you anything, she was already on that stage feeling insecure, or something was going on that she couldn't control. She was afraid of how she was going to be perceived for some reason. I don't know what it is.
It's Morgan. Dorit said it on Watch What Happens.
Yeah.
And that's what Dorit said precipitated this whole thing.
Yeah.
Is Dorit made some innocuous comment to the rest of us, but apparently it had some real weight in Kyle and Morgan's relationship.
Oh my God. That was just,
the closer Kyle got to Morgan, the farther she distanced herself from me.
Right.
And apparently that was enough to blow up Kyle and Morgan's relationship. And if that's the case, then that relationship was too fragile to go the distance anyways. So calm down.
Stupid. Like, I'm sorry. I always forgave my friends, or it wasn't even an issue. Like, when you're first dating someone, you're together all the time. Is it cool of you to, like, ignore your friends? No. Is it something that happens when you first start dating someone? Yeah. What Dorit said, and I don't like Dorit at all. I don't, although
I liked her this episode.
I'm not like, I'm liking this Dorit. I'm not going to lie. I'm open to her, and I'm appreciating her chrysalis moment, you know? However, I do, and where was I going with this first? So what I was saying is, I don't think that Dorit said anything out of line at all on that Watch What Happens Live. I mean, for Kyle to flip out about that was not about that. It was about something else. I'm 100% sure of it.
Sure.
And I think, Margee, that part of why Dorit, I'm speculating, obviously, I think Dorit has years and years and years of resentments built up over PK. And in my opinion, I think that the resentments she has at PK, I think, are fueling this anger at Kyle. And I do believe that Kyle deserves Dorit's anger. I do. But I think the ferocity is probably somewhat fueled by her resentments at PK that she can't lob at PK right now.
The whole Al-Anon thing of like,
exactly.
We sort through our resentments, but there's a fourth column. 1, 2, 3. What is it? Who it is, what it is, what it affects in me, and my part. So the fourth column.
Part, right.
And in my experience, all of my resentments toward other people come back to some home-based resentment toward myself.
100%.
Which is, I didn't speak my mind. She can resent PK all she wants. She stayed. She can resent Kyle all she wants. She tried to please her. It's like, at the end of the day, Dorit's going to have some work to do on herself, but she's not there yet. And she's finding some really firm footing in who she actually is by expressing herself. And I'm enjoying watching it. You know?
I agree. I mean, when I swallow my feelings and don't share them for whatever reason, I build resentments. I think we all do as human beings. So, like, if I have resentments, it basically boils down to the fact that I didn't take care of myself by not sharing my feelings. And I may have been motivated to not share my feelings because I was fearful of being left or judged, probably being left. It's scary to, like, tell someone your feelings, and not knowing how they're going to react or if what you're going to say is okay. And
you have to be prepared for what Dorit got, which is left. PK left, Kyle left.
Kyle left, yeah.
But she's in a place now where she's like, fine, fuck you guys.
Right.
I'm done. Because it's even more than swallowing, for me, it's more than just swallowing my feelings. It's swallowing my feelings and working extra hard to make sure you have everything you need and that you're taken care of and that, like, I have zero needs until all of yours are met. And that's exhausting and impossible. It's exhausting. And by the time I think I've achieved that and all of your needs are met, and then I ask for one for me, you're like, no, fuck you. That's not what this dynamic is. And that's when that was my Al-Anon bottom of like, oh my God, you mean I give everything of myself to this person, and then I ask for one thing,
Yep.
and they say, go fuck yourself. And
Yep.
I learned in Al-Anon that the answer is, of course they did. You set up that
You
relationship
set it up.
dynamic.
You set it
You
up.
told
That's
them
exactly right.
you get all of your needs met, and I ask for nothing. So when you asked for something, they were like, who are you? No.
Mm-hmm. And if I want to be in an authentic, intimate friendship, I'm going to have to deal with the underlying issue of the resentment at some point, and it's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
It means I need to be vulnerable. And what was it like? Lala said it on the last episode, on the last season of Vanderpump. Like, I drink the poison, but I expect you to die. But it's just like, it doesn't work like that. Ugh. Kyle is so. I hope she's reaching her bottom.
It looks like it. She's really lost, and at least in this episode, she is scrambling. She's trying to grab onto Mauricio. She's trying to kick Dorit away from her. She's making all of these really rash, intense choices that aren't serving her well-being.
Agreed. Agreed.
It's all in an attempt to protect her image. And I'm not on Reddit, but I don't see, are people enjoying her this season?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't see
Everyone
how you
is
could
fed the F up.
And I feel
They
like
are
that
fed
will
the
affect
F
her,
up.
like Dorit brings to our attention at the end of the episode. And that might be really valuable for her.
Right. I mean,
to finally fall out of favor and maybe take a look at herself for a minute.
At some point, and this goes for me and everyone, just if you're a human and you have coping skills that have served you, they're going to stop serving you at some point. When there are coping skills built on surviving and not thriving. Does that make sense? I'm not being very clear right now.
You're being totally clear. It's a matter of if you can live with, because nobody wants to change, and some people simply don't. They will go their whole lives in sort of a comfortable, familiar misery, as opposed to doing some hard work to break out into a new phase of their own lives.
I'm just not interested in that. It sounds terrible to me.
It does, but I see it in effect with people in my own life who I still love dearly, and thank God I have a program so I can interact with them in a way that's like doesn't harm me. But there are people who are perpetual victims, and I adore them, but they've made that choice to stay there because it's just familiar and it's not the life I want. I don't want to be angry and judgmental and joyless. That's not for me, but I get the comfort of it.
I hear what you're saying.
It's like a hoarder,
yeah.
To me, it's like dark and sad and gross. To them, it's the safest place they could ever be.
Oh, God.
And I'm not that.
Grateful to not. I'm so grateful to not accept that.
I mean, I wonder if I could, but for whatever reason, my constitution is it gets super dire. It becomes life and death, literally.
Like almost immediately, right? Almost immediately.
Either you make a different choice here or it makes sense to start plotting your own demise.
Exactly.
That's
yes.
a little dramatic.
Yes.
So let's try another path, Margee.
So the next morning, they're meeting at Kathy's first before they go to Oceanside, and it's really awkward with Dorit and Kyle, even though Kyle does make a loving gesture when she walks in by giving Dorit a squeeze on the shoulder when she comes in. And
then she does a show and tell of $80,000 of
oh my God,
nesting
the fucking
purses.
Birkin Matryoshka. Yes,
that
she
was
did.
So Kyle. And again, she's not okay. This is coming off insulting her sister, begging for Mauricio's attention, and now she's like, look at my purses. 1, 2, 3, $100,000 worth of purses. It was just
oh my God. And then she got competitive with Sutton. Like, oh, I have that exact same one. This one? Yes, that exact same one.
Calm down, dude.
I know, man.
Just
you're fine.
Let her have a purse. You have 3.
Kyle, I have news for you. I have news for you. Just like Alison Dubois said in that infamous dinner party scene, those Birkins will never emotionally fulfill you.
Preach. And God bless Jennifer Tilly's comedic timing for Kyle being like, I have that bag, I have that bag. And she comes in with something that to me looked like a shoe, but everybody else who seems to know shit about fashion is like, that's phenomenal. And it's some $35,000 ridiculous, in my opinion, Louis Vuitton boat bag. But
Right.
it looked like a shoe.
Yeah, and I bet nobody had access to that bag but someone like Jennifer Tilly. That
Exactly.
bag probably isn't available at like just any random Louis Vuitton boutique.
No, I'm sure.
That was, yeah.
That shoe with a handle came from somewhere special. I don't understand fashion.
The hat bag, the Vuitton hat bag the hat box was so.
I just wish I understood.
I know.
Because I love art and stuff, but Eric was like, that's a piece of art. I'm like, it's not. I mean, but that's art. Art is subjective.
Yeah.
I do not understand a brand. It said Louis Vuitton on the bottom. I was like, oh, God, this is so like gauche for someone like Jennifer Tilly, who just seems like cooler than that to me.
One of my old bosses, I don't remember, we used to have just the most interesting conversations sometimes, and I really miss that dude. He told me, he's like, Ramona, like, when I go to Paris, like, the real Parisian fashionistas, like, they look down on Vuitton. They think it's pedestrian.
It's sold at the Beverly Center. I'm sorry. Like, it is pedestrian. If I can window shop it, it's not cool.
I have a vintage Vuitton bucket bag that my dear friend's mom gave to me because she's like, I don't like this. Do you? I was all, yeah, I do. Mm-hmm. And it's like beat up and stained, and that's why I like it. Like, the more like lived in it looks, like, the more I love it. And I'm just not, I don't use it as regularly anymore because I'm afraid the strap is going to like break. I'm just too fucking ADHD to send it in and get it repaired. I love it. I love that bag. But yes, anyway, he said that and never left me.
Wait, you love the boat bag?
I love my,
your
no,
bag.
I don't
Your
love the boat
vintage
bag. I love my vintage Vuitton. Yes, yes. Kyle says that she feels extremely uneasy. Part of me wants to just pull her aside and get it all over with, but that's not an option because I'm not ready for that either. News flash, you will never be ready to have a confrontation like that. It is never going to feel comfortable. It's going to always feel excruciating, no matter how bad you want to do it, no matter what the circumstances are. I don't know do you agree? Or...
Yeah, I mean, I think...
It's okay if you don't. I'm just saying, like...
I think it's important. For me, it's important to wait until like most of the emotional charge is gone, because I will often veer away from the point and either do damage to the friendship or do damage to my argument by just like lashing out and being a dickhead. So I've learned to take time for that reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I also think Kyle's avoiding it because she's not in the right. Oh. So it's very hard to make an argument, a firm argument, when you have no solid ground to stand on.
Yeah,
so of course
when you're grasping at straws, like when you're grasping at all the puzzle pieces that aren't there, they don't exist, right?
Because you didn't defend Teddy at BravoCon, where I didn't talk, like, this is so, God. It's so out of the realm of reality. It's like, what?
Completely.
It doesn't even make sense. It's absolutely absurd.
Agreed. 100% agreed. Oh my God.
And then speaking of absurd, we have this Sprinter van scene that I just did not need, where everyone talks about how they all have slept with someone who's gay and has a crooked dick and a small dick. And I was like, all right.
See, I thought, I wrote, I'm entertained.
Oh, great.
I wrote, I was entertained. Yeah.
They're all just drunk and enjoying themselves.
Garcelle, ew, Sean Penn, you're so much better than that.
But Sean Penn back in the day, like in Garcelle's heyday, was, I don't know.
He's always been just
he's
a little
like very serious,
dirty.
But I remember thinking he and Madonna were like the coolest couple I would ever see in my lifetime. And I think that may be true.
There were the rumors and the rumblings that he was physically abusive with her.
Oh, I didn't know
think
that.
did she shut them down, but did she also say it and then backtrack? I don't remember, but so don't quote me on that or take that as gospel. But
I will say I didn't know that, and it's been decades, and I've never heard anything like that since. And he's been with, Charlize Theron and like all these, you know what I mean? Because there's certainly people like, Chris Brown has developed a pattern over his lifetime.
I don't understand how he is still even...
Because his fucking voice, it's so annoying.
I just...
I hear these songs and I'm like, this is a great fucking song. And then I'm like,
know.
who sings? Oh, no.
I know. It's awful. It's awful.
So confusing, but no, it's not
It's
confusing.
awful.
It's just frustrating. But anyways, then we arrive at Mission Bay. We have this
Oceanside.
Oceanside, Mission Bay.
It's just because Mission Bay and Oceanside are very different. They're both beach neighborhoods. But like I said, like Oceanside, like Mission Bay was a vacation destination for families and even locals, you know. Josh spent a lot of time in Mission Bay when he was a younger guy. Mission Beach, Mission Bay,
Beach. I think.
Yeah,
Sorry. I'm just getting all
I
of the
think
words
there's,
wrong.
I think Mission Beach and Mission Bay are both things.
Okay.
Oh my God, I bet like my San Diego friends are listening right now are going, Ramona, you're wrong. I'm sorry if I am. I apologize. I swear to God, it's not okay. Anyway, Oceanside is just like I'm saying, like Oceanside was not ever anywhere that I wanted to go by choice.
It's like whatever that offshoot of Sonoma is that.
No,
that
like Guerneville is
right.
Guerneville is the height
to Sonoma
of luxury compared to. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, Guerneville is the height of luxury compared to Oceanside.
Compared to Oceanside, the Oceanside that I knew. Again, I've been told in the last couple of years that it's experiencing a glow up of sorts. It's having some work done.
It got a great showing,
you know. And
week.
I was like, ooh, the Spawn Con that the Travel Bureau of Oceanside is doing right now in this episode, they're working hard. Anyway,
it looks beautiful to me. I would go.
It did.
Worked on me. Except for their arrival, and there's this weird, like, what is the word? Anachronistic Tom Cruise from Top Gun
random
30 years ago. 35,
yeah.
like 100 years. That movie was 100 years ago. They're like, this is the house from Top Gun. I'm like, who even knows that was a thing? And then this poor Tom Cruise impersonator has to say, like, Need for Speed and a picture with the lady. Like,
embarrassing.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
I was crawling out of my skin. I was like, can we get past this, please? Oh, God.
I've never seen it, and I
beach.
don't even care. I've never seen the original Top Gun.
It was great in 1982 or whenever the hell it came out. Like, it is so old. There's already been a remake.
I mean, I don't care.
Like,
I don't care.
It was so bizarre. Then they get ready for lunch, and we get to see some images of this hotel, which looks absolutely gorgeous. And the flowers, Kathy Hilton finds fine florists because the flowers in the hotel rooms and the flowers on the beach, I just thought they were so beautiful. Those arrangements were absolutely gorgeous.
Thought it was hilarious when Sutton was like, she couldn't have said love when she read the note, like fondly. And no, I guess not. She's not effusive. She has that, her arm out like she's arm's length. What's that saying?
Yes.
But it's not even like she's trying. That's just who
fondly.
Fondly. I felt for Dorit when she was on FaceTime already with Phoenix, and she's like, are you in the same time zone? And she's like, love, I'm 2 hours away. Like, oh God, those poor kids. Their dad has been bailing for years, for weeks at a time. But that's the thing,
it's like, Dorit, I'm not sure it's as dramatic as she's making it seem because he's never been there.
Yeah.
So it sounds like Dorit's mom was not able to come watch them this time, and that was the change. But it's not because PK got an apartment or any of this shit. He's a deadbeat and has been for years.
If the kids, because we know the kids can pick up on this, and then, so like, she's probably feeling that chaos, Phoenix. And then her mom was out of town for 2 nights. Like, I bet if I were her, I thought about it for a second. I didn't even think about it till right now, but I was like, oh God, she's going to be in bed that night, and I'm projecting. She's going to be in bed that night going, it's okay. I'm going to sleep tonight. I'm going to wake up tomorrow. I'm going to sleep one more night, and then mommy's going to be back. Ooh, I could cry.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. Again, projecting.
No,
100%.
but I think that's true. Like for most kids though, like that's something you have to go through. Like that's, my first like camp experiences were like that, where I was like, just 6 sleeps till I'm back in my safe space, which by the way was not safe at all, but it was just familiar.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know.
Oy. Yes.
Then we go to beach lunch and games. And I thought, this is another moment. I thought the beach setup was stunning. And Kyle was such a bitch about it. She's like, it looks like Kathy uprooted her living room and set it down on the beach. I'm like, What is the problem?
It looks
it's gorgeous.
Remember when this was like was it the last season Rinna was on? They were in Kyle's backyard having that sit down thing, and that was when Denise and Aaron Pfeiffer left and Lisa went running off, and Kyle had
It's an
those like
industry
fancy
now.
yurts. It is.
Yeah, I don't know why
wasn't
Kyle
anything.
thought this was so...
I didn't even like blink an eye. I'm like, yeah, of course this is like a housewives picnic set up on the beach. This is de rigueur now, man. Like, what are you saying,
It was
Kyle?
beautiful, but it wasn't like opulent, over the top, ridiculous. Like, I don't know. Kyle's just being a bitch.
I wrote down, lol, Jennifer Tilly's in Oceanside. Like, it made me laugh so hard because she's so not Oceanside. Again, I haven't been to Oceanside in a long time. I remain open. It's just not the Oceanside that I know. But the Oceanside that I know, Jennifer Tilly would be like, pass.
I don't know any Oceanside. What is it, like Glendale or something? Would that be the equivalent?
No. It was,
Like, what is it if Oceanside is
Oceanside,
to LA? What?
Okay, if Oceanside was to LA,
Or like,
God.
LA is to Glendale, like
Oceanside was seedy. It was seedy, had a little bit of a methy element to it.
like Venice Beach, kind of?
Yeah, but
like
then
Boardwalk.
no, not peppered with any hipster cafes or cute clothing stores, you know? So if it was Venice
Like Playa del Rey or something?
without any of the
I don't know why I'm fixated on this. I'm really just trying to like get the Oceanside vibe.
I shouldn't have even opened the can of worms. I should have just kept my opinions to myself. But I was like, oh, okay. All right. This is what's happening now. We're going to Oceanside. Kathy Hilton's organizing a trip to Oceanside. That was even...
There's got to be something in it for her. She must have ownership of that hotel or something.
I mean, I don't know.
Bucket hats, or I don't know.
I don't know. Oh my God, those bucket hats.
Then we have this like moment where there's like the Goldilocks story about with booze. Did you catch this?
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
At 1 p.m., Sutton's like, I'll have vodka on the rocks.
Yep.
Kyle's like, I'll have no alcohol at all. And Erica was like, I'll do it just right.
Yes,
I'll have 2 cocktails through the course of this entire day and night.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh my
And then
God.
Kathy thinks she sees a whale, but it's just a surfer.
Oh my
This
God,
is just
man.
like
She's so like, I'd say she's Grey Gardens, but those women have like more of a personality. The Beals, I don't know. She's
Grey
so
Gardens
eccentric.
is not a bad read. It is just like you've lost total touch with
completely
humanity, reality.
Oh my God, she's so wild. She's so wild. Never seen anything like it.
Then Bose and Dorit start talking quietly at their end of the table. And this is Dorit explaining that PK got an apartment. And this is a weird conversation, too. It just, again, I have lots of sympathy for the early stages of separating and divorcing. Dorit explains that PK got an apartment without consulting with her. And Bose is confused. She's like, you thought you would be part of that decision? And Dorit says, yeah, that he signed a lease without her knowing. And then she adds this piece, which I don't think is true. And she said, and he expected their children to stay there. And I'm like, I really doubt it. My guess is that he has rented a fuck pad and he will come see the kids at the house if and when he wants. I do not think he wants the kids to stay there. I don't think he wants to spend time with, I don't think he wants to be a dad. I think he wants to spend time with the kids, but only if Dorit is there to mother, feed, care for, comfort them.
God,
you know,
my heart breaks.
Again,
man.
I'm projecting, but I don't think PK got an apartment with those kids in mind so we could have them over anytime. Like, no, please.
Oi. Yeah, man. Oy.
And Bose kind of rightly tells Dorit to butt out in her gentle way, saying like, maybe PK doesn't need your input in his life anymore, which was a really nice way to communicate the point of like, you're separated. He doesn't owe you consultation on the lease.
Yeah.
It doesn't impact your parenting where he lives. He has to live somewhere.
He's
not your business, not your problem.
When people show you who they are and what they're doing, believe them. Like he's moving on.
Yeah.
And not including her in anything. Like,
yeah.
That's what you need to grok, Dorit. I wrote Dorit is in less denial than Kyle, but man, I'd be so gutted if I were her. Like, that's cruel. Like, whether or not he's allowed to do it because they're separated, that's like a big thing to have to grapple with, that he's going to sign a lease without telling her. I don't know.
Why?
I thought it.
He has to live somewhere.
He
I mean, I
does,
guess, again, it's like only from my family experience of like, we never knew where my dad
Yeah.
He just got a place because he needed a place. Like, I don't know. If the kids aren't going to be a consideration, then I mean, I imagine Dorit hoped they would be. And I think, like you said, PK is showing her who he is. They were not.
Mm-hmm.
He got an apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and that is not, I doubt it's 4 bedrooms or what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's for him with an office and a big fun bachelor vibe.
Oy, oy, oy. And then, like, I love Garcelle so much. Like, I love her. She's one of my favorite things about this particular franchise. But when she's saying, are we not included in this conversation? I'm all, Garcelle, you hate Dorit. Rightly so. I understand why. I also understand the desire to be a Yenta and want to know what's going on, but it just was like, Garcelle, come on.
It did seem like, I know, I thought it was weirdly salty of her to be
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, we left out. But it did seem like as the episode went on, it had less to do with Dorit and more to do with Bose.
Yeah,
I
totally.
feel like Garcelle finally has like a fellow woman of color on the show. And she's like, can the person I hate the most stop?
Right.
Like hijacking all of her time.
And Dorit's doing that by design. I think that, she has the least history. So she's done. Yeah, completely.
I think that was the right read on it, Garcelle,
Absolutely.
saying that Bose doesn't have any of the story to call Dorit out on her part.
Yeah.
So Dorit can freely unload this story and seem like the victim and the hero and the perfect mom and whatever else she needs to be right now.
I agree.
But I did think it was interesting when they paired up for the games that Garcelle was like, I have Bose, and I was happy they won. And I'm not sure Garcelle knew what they were talking about because it is so sensitive. And I bet if she did hear what was actually in that conversation that she would probably soften. But again, I'm with you. I just like Garcelle, so I'm trying to find a way to make this okay because it was a really ugly moment.
I'm rationalizing. I'm a human being. I'm human. I rationalize. Sutton says that she feels for the kids. You never want to let them down. And man, I got that. Yeah. You just.
Well, and she said she felt for Dorit too for that reason because you don't want to let your kids down.
Mm-hmm.
And then Erica and Sutton both say it's amazing how mean both of you can get. And Erica bitches about how mean Tom was to her. And again, she is just burned all of her goodwill.
Agreed.
Live your gross consumption lifestyle. And I don't actually care what mean things he said to you because you have done such mean, unconscionable things to other people. So I can't watch you go I won't even repeat it because it was so vile. I'm sure he just called her a see you next Tuesday and a whore and
That's
whatever.
what I was thinking too.
But I'm not shocked. And also your whole brand is a see you next Tuesday whore. If I'm not mistaken, you have a necklace that says that, right? That says.
Oh, that's right. She did have a see you next Tuesday necklace, didn't she?
Not that any man or anyone should call anyone those words.
Right.
But if you're going to keep your earrings instead of pay victims, and if you're going to showcase a Porsche, and I just can't cry for you. I just can't. I could muster no feeling when she was saying she was abused by him. And that is a darkness in me, but it's just the truth.
I know. I understand what you're saying. I validate what you're saying. I get that. I get that. Jennifer Tilly fills us in about Sam Simon, who was her ex-husband who did pass away from cancer. And
colon cancer, get your colonoscopy.
Yes. He was a massive animal advocate. He donated so much money to the
ASPCA?
ASPCA, animal organizations. Was he a vegetarian or a vegan? I can't remember, but he fucking loved dogs, animal rescue, all of that stuff. So he was a philanthropist in that way. So he was a co-creator of The Simpsons. And so she got a piece, to quote her, she got a piece of that Simpsons money. And after they signed the licensing deal and the merchandising stuff, he was earning $20 to $30 million a year. And this is back in the 90s. A year. And she got a piece of that. And she says, I thank Sam every day.
And this is why I want to say, she said, they were together for 10 years, married 7. And she got a piece of The Simpsons in the divorce. And she said, nobody knew The Simpsons was going to go on for 1 trillion years. And I was like, your divorce lawyer did. And Kyle, this is why you get a good divorce lawyer immediately, because they can set you up like this. But if Mauricio's already consulted with all the good ones, like, you snooze, you lose, dude.
I mean, that is the one thing that, not the one thing, but it was one of the most real life things that I learned from Succession when Tom Wambsgans went to every divorce lawyer so that when Shiv started making calls, oh, I'm sorry, spoiler alert. I apologize. I know. It was just like, wow, that is some shit. That is some shit. I didn't know that was a thing.
I mean, in my family, that's like the first thing you learn.
I know. And
you
that's
take
what
your
I
first
love.
steps, and then they're like, get a divorce lawyer first. It's like,
I
all right.
love learning about the legal system from you because of your family. I get it.
Well, no, and also just because not everyone went the distance. So there was a lot of, advice, experience and advice on that front when we were coming up.
I don't have jack shit to say about the games. Do you?
Just that it was funny when Dorit fell down.
Oh.
And I did think, they played Duck, Duck, Goose, which for whatever reason, it just made me so uncomfortable. I was like in the
annoying.
sand and
just like
running.
Come on.
It just feels like an injury. I'm so glad no one got injured. But Kyle says Kathy is stuck in a children's book or in a nursery rhyme or something. And Kathy says, well, I'd rather be there than in the real world. And I just wrote, that's the definition of privilege.
Right.
When you choose to, and you can actually exist in a fantasy world, that you have purchased privilege. And
you can dip in when it's good for you, and you can dip out when you want.
Just fucking homeless, not toothless benefit
100%.
once a year.
Yep.
And other than that, duck, duck, goose on a beach. With
Absolutely.
couches.
Absolutely. Cosign. So they're getting ready for dinner. And I thought, okay, the conversation between Sutton and Garcelle and Jay Till in Sutton's bathroom, it was entertaining, but in real life, to say that they felt excluded and it was strange, I thought that was so disingenuous. And I know they're doing it for a show. I know that at the end of the day, this is a cast. And yes, some of them are friends, but I know that they're working. But it just seemed petty and lame and just disingenuous, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but then when I heard Garcelle's take on why, that it seemed like Garcelle was monopolizing time with Bose because
Dorit.
Dorit.
Monopolizing time, yeah.
Yes, Dorit was monopolizing time with Bose because she doesn't have the history with the group. And it's they want to get her no. That made sense. I guess I see both sides. Does that mean I'm growing?
Sure, yes.
Just kidding.
Then we have Dorit and Erica. And Dorit talks about needing to address the elephant in the room for half a second before she immediately pivots to an earring. The drama around the earrings is 6,000 times that of her drama with Kyle.
Oh my God.
She's like, oh, I cannot. She's wearing one gold hoop and is absolutely mortified. And Erica tries to comfort her saying you have on mixed metals if it makes you feel any better. And then she puts on this other door knocker silver earring that I don't see why one is better than the other. And she's like, do you see the difference? It's duh.
Oh
I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And she was so relieved to have this weird dangly
You
earring.
want to know why?
Why?
You want to know why?
Yes.
Because, and I say this from my own experience, I find comfort, okay, I'm going to dinner with someone I'm having conflict with, but I'm going to wear this earring, and this earring, I know somewhere deep in my soul that this earring has no power, but for some reason it's giving me a sense of security right now. I am projecting, but I'm just saying
something was going on.
Yeah.
Something deeply personal and
control.
emotional
She wanted
was
to
going
control.
on.
She wanted to control. That was her way of controlling her fear around having to see Kyle in 5 minutes at dinner. That's my projection. But
That makes sense. Then they go to dinner at this restaurant and they are taken to the best table in the house, which appears to be at a heavily trafficked intersection. There were stop signs and cars going by through the whole scene. And they're like, oh, it's beautiful. I'm like, is it? Because the view is a well-lit intersection. I don't know. That to me aligns with your description of what Oceanside might be.
Yeah. I
When
mean,
the best table at the best restaurant is at a four-way stop.
Yeah.
A busy one. Then Kyle toasts Kathy and kisses her ass to say thank you. And she's never laughed harder than that beach day. And then she tells Dorit she doesn't know when they'll talk, but she wants to have a conversation to, alleviate any awkwardness. And Dorit gets her line out that they need to address the elephant in the room. And she says, everyone knows there was a heated conversation between you and I at Sutton's party and that you stormed off. And Kyle right there recoils and is on the defensive.
Yep.
And I loved this confessional from Dorit. She said, that exchange at Sutton's was one-sided and we didn't get anywhere. And now I have a chance to tell Kyle exactly how I feel. Until now, she hasn't even cared, let alone understood the depth of my hurt and pain. And I was like, you are going to be so disappointed because I don't think she's going to care. And spoiler alert, I was right.
She's not going to care.
She don't care.
Dorit is coming at her with feelings.
Right.
Kyle doesn't like feelings. Kyle
doesn't like accountability.
Kyle doesn't like accountability and she doesn't like feelings.
No.
So she is going to say, I want to remove myself from the situation. And she's going to make it seem like she's doing it to take care of herself. But it's because she's being avoidant.
But she didn't remove herself. She did the worst thing, which is argue it. She got actually defensive with the dumbest argument I've ever heard in my life.
Unbelievably stupid.
Saying that she was reacting to what Dorit had said at BravoCon and says it was a number of things, many pieces to this puzzle, which is your favorite Richard's sister question, which was answered in jest after Kyle accidentally spilled a shot on Dorit. And you didn't defend Teddy when this. I'm so happy for this man, whoever that man was who asked the question, who's getting all the screen time. I'm so happy for him. She accuses Dorit of not defending Teddy because it wouldn't be popular with the fans. And Dorit just levels her. She goes, Kyle, I'm not you. That's you. That's always been you. I don't give a flying fuck. And I was like, oh my God. And she says, that conversation about Teddy is not my business. And if that's why you devalued our friendship, that's insane, essentially, And Kyle's stuttering, going no, but it's just one piece. It's one piece. And then the final piece was when you read my text at the reunion. And Dorit was like, why would I not be honest, open, and truthful in a place where I'm supposed to be all of those things? That's what the reunion is for. And she said, I'm sorry, it just doesn't work for me. And Dorit reminds Kyle she did not divulge anything personal or anything that Kyle had shared with her in confidence. And then we get this montage of Kyle tattling on Dorit in podcasts and whatever, any appearance that she made and since the reunion, saying I wanted to resolve things with Dorit, but then I saw that she read the text.
Oh my God, man.
And then she said mean things. It was just oh my God, you are so committed to finding a victim storyline where there just is not one.
Completely. I absolutely agree 100%. I mean, to not talk for months, just to Jesus Christ.
And I loved how it ended because Dorit, again, when she is clear on what she wants to say, she is just direct as fuck. And she goes, Erica agrees with my assessment of what happened at BravoCon. Do you have a problem with her? And Kyle goes, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Could you let me talk? And Dorit goes, it's okay, Kyle. It's time for you to fucking listen. And I was like, oh my God. I was like one of those things outside of a car dealership. I was like, yeah.
Oh my God.
It was
oh my God.
so, to use your word, satisfying.
So satisfying.
I was
so
just
satisfying.
like, yes, Dorit. And I cannot wait to see how this plays out because Dorit, it's again, when you have the truth on your side, it is just impossible to be rattled. And Dorit is so centered and so clear. And Kyle's just all over the place trying to be no, you are, no, God gave you, no, blah, blah. It's just dude, you are doing yourselves no favors.
I
You
agree.
would be so much more sympathetic if you just said, I don't know what I'm doing right now. My whole identity of 30 years has been erased. So I'm making a lot of weird choices and I'm sorry if I hurt. There's 100 ways Kyle could do this.
Oh my God.
Without being you didn't defend Teddy. Who cares?
Was such a straw. I did think that when Dorit brought up Erica, I felt like that was really, really manipulative. Like and I don't give a shit about Erica looking bad. I'm just saying, like, for anyone, like, Erica didn't ask for that. It's
No, but
like,
Erica had talked. She said she talked to Kyle on the phone.
oh, see, I forgot that. You're right.
So
Okay,
she'd
then never
already had this
mind.
conversation with Kyle, and I
You're
think
right.
it's fair for Dorit to bring it up because
right.
Erica didn't get any shit. She talked to Kyle and said,
You're
I don't
right.
think Dorit meant any harm. And Kyle was like, okay, and let it go. And then here she is screaming, 2 ears, 1 mouth.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Jesus Christ.
dude.
What a mess. She's a
What a
mess,
mess.
man.
She is a mess.
Oh. What else did you watch this week?
You know, per your suggestion, I watched Our Little Secret. And
Charming,
I loved
right?
it.
So adorable, right?
Totally charming. Lindsay Lohan is great.
So great.
Whoever that guy was is funny.
Yeah.
Kristen Chenoweth is great. You're right.
She's a gem.
It was just like, it's everything that I'd always want a Hallmark movie to be, but I'm always left just groaning, going like, oh,
Right.
God,
Because
this
it's so.
the hot cocoa contest.
Exactly. It's
and
so
ugh.
like pumpkin spice latte. And at least the
Yes.
one on Netflix is like a hot toddy. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It was silly and sweet, and I
Yeah.
thought it was great, and I'm so glad you
I'm
recommended
really,
it.
really glad. I'm really, really glad.
And then I watched over Thanksgiving. So Michigan has had a terrible football season this year. Last year we had a perfect record and we won the national championship, and it was such a thrill. And we all knew this year we could not repeat that, but we fell out of the top 25 pretty quick, and it's been a hard slog being a Michigan fan. And at Thanksgiving weekend, our rivalry games in college football, and we played Ohio State, ranked number 2. We were unranked. So I watched because I'm a fan.
Yeah.
We beat them
Oh.
in their house.
Ooh.
Completely unexpected and so
Ooh.
delightful. I was texting with my
Satisfying.
Michigan friends going like, is this happening? Is this happening at Ohio State? Is this happening? Oh my God. And there was like a big skirmish at the end because the Michigan players tried to plant the flag in the field and a big brawl broke out. And everyone's like, oh, it ruined the event. I'm like, no, it didn't. That is college sports. Those are 2 emotional teams in the last game of the season. I blame no one. Ohio State would have done the same thing. If they'd won at Michigan, they would have planted their flag in our field. And the seniors at Ohio State, Michigan has won that game 4 years in a row now. So none of the seniors at Ohio State will have beaten Michigan. And that's a hard pill to swallow. So I understand why they were pissed off and upset. Anyways, for me, that was not a stain on the game. It was just like, it was a great game, really close the whole time. And like, I'm so happy for Michigan that we could go out with like a meaningful win.
Oh, I'm happy for you. I love
That
that.
was great.
I love that. I'm glad.
How about you? What did you watch?
I binged Survival of the Thickest on Netflix. Michelle Buteau wrote it and starred in it, and it was so freaking charming. I love her. I think she's stunning, and I think she's hilarious. And it was really, really freaking good. And it was a really easy binge. And then I believe, I watched New York.
Didn't watch it.
Salt
I'm
Lake.
done. After the prank, I'm like,
Salt Lake
lost me.
Salt Lake is good.
I haven't watched that either.
And
So behind.
I think that's it. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else. I think we tried to watch the Gotti documentary on Netflix. The little blurbs all, one of the most liked shows ever on Netflix. Blah. And I was like, 15 minutes after it started, I was like, I can't watch this. This is so fucking boring. And I love mafia shit. And I was honk shoe. But I had a lot on my mind, so maybe I got to try it again. I don't know.
Did you see that from the producers of Selling Sunset, a new series called Selling the City is coming out soon?
No.
Yeah. So it's Selling Sunset, but for New York City, and I cannot
fuck, yes.
wait.
I can't wait to watch Selling Salt Lake or
Right.
whatever, the Salt Lake City one. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. See
Of
what's
course.
doing.
I just love seeing even if the storylines are bad, I've watched so many terrible real estate shows just because it's
Yeah.
fun to see real estate and how things are priced and why people choose shit. And
I agree.
I find it.
I
don't
love
know.
closet porn. I love bathroom porn. I'm not a fan of the box house, but
I don't like them at all.
I'm
But
into
I'm
it.
always fascinated. It's like an education for me to learn How can you value that thing that looks like a prison? How is that $5.5 million?
I know.
And how is there a bidding war on it?
Yeah.
There are more than one person who wants that thing?
Yeah.
But it fascinates me, the market, because
Yeah.
it's nonsense. And it's like, anyways, I can't
agree.
wait.
I agree.
I think selling the city is,
Ooh, I can't wait.
gonna
And
be
I think
glossy and
that'll be good
stupid.
because at least in New York, it seems like the houses and the condos or the co-ops, whatever they're called there, the brownstones, like they maintain some charm and originality versus all the stuff on, Selling Sunset, which is like, okay, which big rectangle are we looking at this time with the whatever? And so it'll be nice to see a change of, yeah. I loved the Sirhan real estate show.
I hated it.
Oh,
just
I
did-
liked
I-
seeing the
I-
houses, but the
Yeah, I
people
couldn't
were
get past
so
him. I
lame.
was just like, stop acting. I really don't
He's
need your
Ryan,
acting.
man. That is
I
him.
know.
I
Well,
know.
and Andy just used him to like sell his New York
Yeah.
apartment. So
Yeah.
he must be very good at his job. But yeah.
And what was your antidepressant this week, friend?
My antidepressant was so my friend Gavin, who passed away a couple months ago. Oh man.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna
friend.
try not to cry,
It's
but
okay.
his
It's appropriate.
one of several memorial services was held on Monday in a theater in New York City, and it was live streamed as well. And the theater was full, 1,700 seats full.
Wow.
An overflow theater was like partially full. There were 8,000 people on the live stream. This is for like my college classmate. That's how impactful he was. And in terms of this podcast, what matters is he was eulogized by lots of people from different eras of his life. And most recently, he worked with Sarah Bareilles on Waitress, and they became really close friends. And she talked about how she went for like a tarot, or she did her own tarot card reading shortly after he passed, and she got 2 cards that were like snakes and eyeballs and guts. And she was like, what the fuck is this? And then she said in her eulogy, she's like, this is maybe a reminder to remember his darkness, because she's like, we're going to canonize him as everything that was wonderful about him. He's so talented, so kind. Literally 10,000 people showed up because if you ever met him or saw him, he mattered to you and you mattered to him. But he was plagued with like darkness and loneliness, and he spent a lifetime, like most of us do, trying to find ways to manage it, work around it, work with it.
Yep.
And I was so moved by her. She was the first person to speak, and that was what she said. She said, remember his darkness. And I was like, yes, because that was
Yes.
what made him a complete human being.
Yes.
And a brilliant artist. That
Mhm.
darkness is what fueled some of his best work. And other people who memorialized him talked about his meditation practice, and they had the whole audience do a meditation all
Wow.
together, because that is the best way to honor his life. So all of these things, all of these practices, all of these like self-care, therapy, introspective modalities were a central part of his memorial service.
I love it.
And it was beautiful. And then yesterday, before the Broadway shows started, they dimmed all the lights on Broadway for him. And if you want to see it on the Playbill Instagram site, there's a video, and the streets are flooded, and his picture's on a screen, and all the lights dim, and there's silence, and then they all go on, and there's like big applause, and it's just beautiful. Like, his passing is like one of the most specific sadnesses I've ever experienced in my life. But the way he made an impact and the way he's being remembered is also like something I've never experienced before. So weirdly, it's my antidepressant,
I
even
get that,
though it
friend.
makes
I
me
get
weep.
that. I
It's
get
so
that.
beautiful.
I
So
get that.
I love you, Gavin. Miss you.
Oh my
How about
God.
you?
I love you
What
so
was your
much.
I love you too.
I do. Well, it hasn't happened yet, but I've been looking forward to it all week. Is that I'm going to San Diego on Friday.
Yes.
To see my nearest and my dearest and go see a band that I've loved for like 30 years playing at our favorite nightclub in San Diego. And I fucking can't wait. You know, I've been friends with these women since I was 15 and 20, respectively. They've seen it all. They've heard it all. I mean, like all of my dark, all of my light, all of my good, all of my bad. And like, I cannot fucking wait. And the fact that they are like so excited to see me, like I never take it for granted. Like my friend Liz sent me that elf gif of like Will Ferrell when he's like, Santa, but he's like so excited. She's like, I'm so excited. And then sent me that gif and I was like, really? For me? Oh my God. Oh my God. What else is there? What else is there than that? You know?
That's pretty great.
So I'm fucking pumped, man. I can't wait to see those girls. Can't wait.
I'm so excited for you to have that
me
weekend.
too. Me too. I'm
It's
very
gonna be great.
excited.
And the weather, Ramona,
Oh
it's
my
going to be
God.
like 80 degrees
I
down
know.
here.
I
You're going to
saw
die.
that. I saw that. I was so excited to
Oh
see
my
that.
God.
Well, everyone, that brings us to the end of another episode of A Therapeutic Dose. Thank you so, so much for joining us. We just love talking about this show, and we hope you love listening to it as much as we love creating it. You know where to find us, at A Therapeutic Dose on Instagram. Email us at atherapeuticdose@gmail.com. Drink your water. Write in your journal. Margee, you were my other antidepressant. I'm taking your writing class right now.
Oh, that was a great class
And
today.
we started this morning, and it set the tone for my whole day. As uncomfortable as some things are right now to sit with, I knew I was loving myself by showing up to that class and being honest. So thank you, friend.
It's a great group.
Thank
great
you,
class.
friend. Such a
Yeah.
great group and friend. I knew I was forgetting something. So yes, that class is my other. So find yourself a writing prompt. Open your journal and write. What don't I want you to know? What do I want you to know? Ooh, I could cry. Anyway, we love you. Take care of yourselves.
Take good care of yourselves, and we'll talk next week.
We'll talk next week, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Ramona and Margee are
Obviously.
not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom is a doctor.